No matter what happens, don't make a sound, stay quiet, and keep your eyes on me.
Yeah, please, that is begging you. Whatever you do, do not make a sound. Listen to me. Yeah, good girl.
What kind of ruthless criminal could push a father to such a desperate extreme? And what kind of chaotic showdown between law and crime lies behind this tragedy? It all began with Hong Kong's most notorious robber, Xiao Nan. His methods are brutally violent, with each heist executed like a meticulously planned military operation. Even more infuriatingly, he manipulates the law to his advantage, robbing a bank one moment and swaggering into the police station the next.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you. I was out on the street and happened to find this. I wasn't sure which officer dropped it.
Thank you.
Well, just doing my duty as a citizen.
Photography, art, play. I didn't realize I was so famous around here.
You're quite well known.
Facing this blatant provocation, Senior Inspector Louis had to suppress his simmering rage. Everyone knew he was behind multiple major crimes, but the police could never find any conclusive evidence against him. Unlike ordinary robbers, Xiao Nan's motives weren't simple. To him, it wasn't just about the money. Robbery was a way to seek thrills and challenge the system. He enjoyed the rush of taking risks right under the noses of the police. Soon, Xiao Nan's gang set their sights on several armored trucks. His subordinate Bong suggested targeting HSBC for the biggest payout. Xiao Nan scoffed at the idea. To him, the thrill of the heist wasn't the loot, but rather pushing himself to the absolute limit. Without hesitation, he chose the most dangerous route as his target, making it the most high-stakes route. He viewed the operation as a game of cat and mouse. A meticulous plan was swiftly devised, and Xiao Nan immediately led his gang to lie in wait at the designated location. As the armored truck reached the bridge, a hook like the claw of a giant beast descended from above, easily hoisting the vehicle into the air, before slamming it back down with brutal force effortlessly, neutralizing all security personnel. Masked robbers emerged like phantoms armed with heavy weaponry. The police arrived shortly after, and a fierce shootout erupted instantly. Bullets tore through the downtown streets as vehicles were used for cover. The once bustling streets were instantly transformed into a battlefield of blood and fire. One robber seized a passing innocent woman as a hostage, instantly suppressing the police's firepower. At the critical moment, Senior Inspector Hua charged in his vehicle to launch a rear attack while his team seized the opening. Shot knocked off the robber's mask, shifting the scales of victory toward the police. Just as the perimeter was closing in, a black car bolted out like a specter. It slammed into Hua's car. The massive impact left him pinned and helpless. He could only watch helplessly as Xiao Nan raised his gun.
No! Killing!
The sight drove Hua to a breaking point while Xiao Nan relished the moment. After tossing a smoke grenade, Devil vanished into thin air right before the officer's eyes.
Don't let the driver escape. Hands up, hands up, hands. Freeze. Step out slowly.
For Hua, this operation was a complete and total humiliation. Despite having solid intel, it ended in a disastrous fiasco. Not only did Xiao Nan escape, but an innocent life was also lost. Back at the station, faced with an investigation that led nowhere, the anger simmering in his heart finally boiled over. He lashed out at his men, sending the morale of the entire regional crime unit to a freezing point.
If you can't find them here, start looking further up the streets, alright? Hadn't gotten into the car or put on their masks yet? Go through the footage frame by frame check every single CCTV camera ahead.
Give us a break, that's a massive workload.
If it's too hard, then quit. If you're that tired, go home right now.
Faced with such a toxic outburst, his colleague had zero tolerance. He packed up and walked out on the spot. Lau was left to pull overtime alone, interrogating the driver who had crashed into him. To his surprise, the man was an old classmate, Dong Guansai. They once practiced judo together and were friends, but after graduation their paths in life diverged completely. Lau became a senior inspector, while Dong Guansai went astray. He ended up as a triad boy.
How did it come to this?
Didn't our teacher used to say, people are half good and half evil. A mere pawn, like me, shouldn't disrespect the inspector.
Look it up in a dictionary. Good and evil aren't 50-50.
As Monitor Lau is still the same old Lau.
Forget that. Who was it? Give him up. I'll let you turn state's evidence and guarantee your safety.
It really was an accident.
Try again.
I've got a criminal record. Then you'll be a loser for the rest of your life. I was pulling out of the alley just now, and your men were firing like crazy. I was so spooked I slammed the gas by mistake. Is that a crime too?
The police have dealt with plenty of triads like you. I always ask my men this. Every day, we deal with murder, arson, or people jumping to their deaths. It's a loathsome and thankless job, so why do we keep doing it? Hey, look at this. They're either alcoholics, going through divorces, or pathological gamblers. Is it worth it? That's why I go to the morgue so often to see the bodies. And it's as if those corpses are talking to me. They weren't the ones who were supposed to die. If I let a criminal walk today, tomorrow, another innocent soul could be lying dead on the street. That is exactly why I'm a cop. I don't care if that bastard is an old friend, my boss, or even my own mother. Until every last one of these criminals is caught, I'll never stop. Do you get me, old classmate?
Chai spoke every word from the bottom of his heart, but unfortunately he wasn't facing the old classmate he used to practice judo without. Instead, he faced a hardened triad boy who was completely unyielding. Dongguan Chai remained expressionless, refusing to confess. Chai knew that against a man like this, conventional methods were useless, so he released him on the spot. Rather than wasting more breath, he'd let the tiger return to the wild and wait for it to show its fangs. Shortly after Dongguan Chai left the station, the police found a torched car in the outskirts. The very getaway vehicle used by the robbers that day. As expected, the robber whose face had been accidentally exposed during the heist had been silenced by Xiaonan. The sole lead had gone cold. But Hua Chai didn't stop there, starting with the victim's tattoos. He followed the trail, found the gang was linked to a triad boss named Brother Pa, who was nearing release. With a new lead in hand, Hua Chai immediately sought out his old informant Tang Qiang.
This is Bao. He's the one who recruited me for the Admiralty job 5 years ago.
Set it up for me. I want to plant someone inside.
How many people?
Just one.
Hey, come on, stop stalling. What's the payout? 200 0? I'll do it for 200 0.
You can't be an informant forever. You just got out. Go, take care of your daughter.
I'm doing this for her.
Anyway, help me make the connection, and I'll pay you a monthly salary.
Hong Xiang is Hua's old informant because of his past crimes. He has only just been released from prison. More importantly, he has an autistic daughter at home to care for, and letting him risk his life again was hard for Hua to stomach. But seeing the 200 0 reward, Tong Xiang insisted on taking the job, as his daughter's future treatment would be very costly. Hua had no choice but to agree for the time being. Meanwhile, news came in from the intelligence bureau. They tailed Xiaonan's henchman Blind Dragon and found him frequenting the Funing building. Hua was certain that it was Xiaonan's new hideout. He mobilized the elite of the regional crime unit and prepared for a full-scale operation. He planned a raid on Funing building to take down Xiaonan's gang in one fell swoop. However, they still underestimated how alert Xiaonan was. Just as the police were about to breach the door, Xiaonan had already spotted them on the surveillance cameras.
It's nothing.
Don't come out.
Yeah.
How long will it buy us? 30 seconds.
Get in here.
What is it?
Move!
Xiaonan's firepower was overwhelming, pinning down Hua and his regional crime unit. This wasn't just an arrest, it was more like a small-scale war. Once the 30 seconds were up, Xiaonan made a clean escape through the back door, leaving his men behind to keep the police occupied. Meanwhile, Dongguan Chai, who was covering their retreat, multiple time bombs were planted inside the room. Meanwhile, Hua Chai, flanking from the rear, intercepted a lone gunman. Just as he was about to give chase, he crossed paths with the masked Bong in the stairwell. Despite the mask, one look was all it took for Hua Chai to recognize his former classmate. Without a word, the two were locked in combat. Trading blows, neither could gain the upper hand. But Bong was desperate. His bombs were set to go off at any second. In desperation, he grabbed an incense burner and slammed it onto Hua Chai's head, seizing the moment Hua Chai was dazed. He bolted, but Hua Chai quickly recovered and gave chase. The two engaged in a brutal life and death struggle on the rooftop. The bomb suddenly detonated, and the massive shockwave sent both men flying. They plummeted from the roof as Hua Chai struggled to his feet and rushed back upstairs. Despite the pain, he found the place deserted. Bong slipped into a clothing store downstairs during the chaos to change, making a clean getaway. Although the operation failed again, it wasn't for nothing. Blind Dragon, one of Cao Nan's men, was captured with a witness in hand. A confident Hua Chai went to Cao Nan's office to bring him in, but this ruthless kingpin was unlike any other. Facing Hua Chai, he remained perfectly calm, as if everything was still under his control.
Officer, it's been a long time.
Wait, no. We just met, though you preferred to cover your face. Call my lawyer. Get the best one available.
Lawyers. No one in this world can be trusted.
Back when I was in the army, my commander once told me, trust only your gun. When I was in business, my partner said, trust only the money. Now, my fellow outlaws say, trust the law, because the law cares only about evidence or law. Abiding citizens, like us the law, it has no choice but to protect us. I'll give you these 4 words for when you die. Hang them in your funeral hall. Let everyone see them. A lifetime summed up in 4 words. Law-abiding citizen. How glorious is that?
Time's up. You have the right to remain silent. So anything you say can and will be used against you in court.
Don't be in such a hurry. I'm sure he has something to tell you.
Just as he finished, a teammate with a grim expression approached and whispered into Hua's ear. Those few short words seemed to drain every ounce of strength from Hua. It turns out that moments ago, Blind Dragon, who agreed to give state's evidence, received a call. In a sudden frenzy, he swallowed all the physical evidence and jumped to his death, wiping out both the witness and the proof. Zhang Xiaonan's smug mocking face, Hua knew that in this round, he had lost again.
Sorry to bother you.
Oh, don't mention it.
Hey, try harder next time.
While Hua was tasting the bitterness of defeat, Dongguan Zai was executing a textbook-level counter-surveillance move. He returned to the restaurant and secretly set the clock forward an hour. He deliberately woke the chef using the man's grogginess to create a seamless alibi for himself. Repeated failures had pushed Hua to his wit's end. He sought out Dongguan Zai privately, hoping their old school ties might offer one last lead, urging him to turn his life around. But Dongguan Zai couldn't care less, looking at him with utter contempt. In his eyes, Hua is no match for Xiaonan. Facing this old classmate who refused to be swayed, Hua dropped a warning and turned to leave. With Blind Dragon gone, Xiaonan's gang was short-handed, which gave the informant Tang Qiang a chance to infiltrate the crew. Soon Xiaonan's men approached Tang Qiang, inviting him to join and take Blind Dragon's place. But the real test was just beginning on his very first day. They were headed out to rob an armored car. With no time to lose, in order to tip off Hua, he pretended to call an aunt, asking her to pick up his daughter from school.
Can I make a phone call? It's about my daughter. You know, her situation. There's no one to pick her up today. I'll just call my aunt to get her done call. Auntie He, could you please pick up my daughter from school today? Yes, right now. Thanks. Thanks for the help.
Thank you.
Yeah. Auntie, yes, it's me.
I love you now. Drive.
Hello?
He hung up. No. Up.
Thanks. Keep tracking my informant's phone. I need to lock onto his location.
With Tang Qiang's real-time GPS coordinates, an inescapable dragnet was quietly deployed at the scene. The moment they made a move, the police would take them all down. But strangely, while the henchmen began casing the joint, Qiao Nan was nowhere to be seen, which was completely out of character for him. A sense of foreboding filled Hua's heart. What he didn't realize was someone was already watching everything through the surveillance cameras. Directed by the mastermind behind the scenes, the operation is about to begin. Tang Qiang received orders, grab the goods and leave in the getaway car. Meanwhile, Dong Guanzai, in charge of the getaway, draws his gun and prepares. But by a freak coincidence more unlikely than a planetary collision, he runs right into his girlfriend Yan Bing.
Get out! Get out of the car! Open the door! Open the door!
The driver got out.
The one who just got out is my informant. Let him go when you make the arrests. He's taking the keys. They're not using the original car. Is the original plan still on them?
Get out! Oh, go!
Everyone out, plan B. Wait for them to strike, then we move in. Copy that, William.
Boss says it's a trap, Scatter.
Everyone split. Up. Boys.
Eat, sleep, and hit the head.
Too many kids in the back seat. Wait for them to clear the crowd before moving in.
His girlfriend's sudden appearance threw Dong Guanzai completely off his game. To pick up his crew, he spots a truck full of pigeons behind him. He slams into it in reverse, not only to shake off his girlfriend, but also to use the escaping pigeons as cover for his crew's retreat. Once again, the police operation ends in total failure. But now, Tang Qiang is in grave danger. They use a detector to find a tracking device in Tang Qiang's phone. His cover is blown instantly. Jai realizes Tang Qiang is in serious trouble and becomes desperate to track him down at any cost.
With new Jianyong Plaza as the center within a 20-minute driving radius, check every surveillance feed. I must find my informant.
Yes, sir.
Found him. Oh, Lisa is sending the video to you now. Go home, turn around, and head back.
These officers are already on their way to Tang Qiang's place.
Oh, no.
Yeah, stop playing. Yo, listen to Daddy. Listen to me. Listen to Daddy. Be a good girl. Yeah. In a moment, no matter what happens, do not make a sound. Stay quiet. Look at Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy's begging you. You must stay absolutely silent.
Tang Qiang then hides his daughter inside a suitcase, pushes it under the bed, praying she won't be discovered. Thugs break in and the little girl is eventually found, and this sight completely breaks Tang Qiang, a man of iron resolve, who abandons all dignity, kneeling and kowtowing like a dog to beg for mercy, pleading only for his daughter's life. But he is pleading with devils, and devils know no mercy. They only relish the despair of of their prey. Amidst Tang Qiang's heart-wrenching screams, that tiny body falls from the high rise like a withered leaf. Wow. Yai arrives a moment too late, finding only the horrific scene of Tang Qiang's murder. Downstairs, the small body is found curled on the cold pavement, clinging to her last breath. On the way to the hospital, Yuao remembers her father's words, tightly covering her mouth with her tiny hands, afraid to make a sound, until she finally passes away in Hua Zhai's arms. Hua Zhai's world shatters, consumed by rage, guilt, and helplessness. Every emotion converges into a single thought: if the law cannot provide justice, then he will become the vigilante. At this moment, he is no longer a cop, but an avenger. He swung the car around and floored the accelerator, charging frantically toward Cao Nan and forcing him to a halt in a desolate lot.
Get out! Now it's... why?
Got any evidence?
Cao Nan remains as smug and nonchalant as ever, but this time he's finished. Before Hua Chai's eyes flash the face of his friend, Tang Qiang, lying with his eyes wide open, and the haunting image of his goddaughter, Rao Rao. Since the law demands evidence, he will fabricate it with his own hands. He knocks Cao Nan unconscious with a single punch, and proceeds to do something that will bury the villain for good. He grabs Xiao Nan's hand and stuffs fabric fibers from the girl's clothes underneath his fingernails, then smears blood onto his body. By planting this evidence, he forges an ironclad case for the murder of Tang Qiang and his daughter, ensuring that Xiao Nan will spend the rest of his life behind bars. On the other side, Dongguan Zai is in a mess. His girlfriend caught him during his last robbery, and now no matter what he says, she is determined to break up with him. In a desperate attempt to win her back, Dongguan Zai will say absolutely anything.
I'm working undercover now.
The excuse is so far-fetched that no one in their right mind would believe it. Not even his infatuated girlfriend is buying it. Having reached her breaking point, she decides to use the most heart-wrenching way to push him away.
I'm pregnant. 2 months. God.
What's so good? I'm 2 months pregnant, and you weren't even out of prison back then.
This bombshell doesn't scare Dongguan Zai away. Instead, it fuels his resolve to turn his life around. Ironically, by the time a man finally decides to take responsibility, he's already lost the right to do so.
Let's get married. I want to get married.
Why don't you understand yet? I'm done with you.
From now on, whatever happens to you is none of my business.
Just like that, one desperately tries to go straight while the other is determined never to look back. Two people who once loved each other parted ways at the street corner. However, as one storm passes, another is already brewing. And he thought it was all over, but then he received an anonymous diss. Inside was the footage of him planting evidence to frame Xiao Nan that day. It turned out Xiao Nan had a hidden camera installed in his car. The person who sent the mail was Kit, Dongguan Zai's brother-in-law. Kit set up a meeting with Andy intending to extort a massive amount of hush money.
Give me all the backups.
500 monthly installments until the day you retire. That you can keep on being a good cop. Think about it, just think about it.
Jokes!
Wake up. You're a awake, some cop, you are. You've got 3 minutes to decide.
Faced with Kit's insatiable extortion. Andy felt the suffocating grip of blackmail for the first time. However, just as he was at a loss, Kit suffered a sudden asthma attack and struggled to breathe. It was a godsend, a chance to make all his troubles vanish. After hesitating for only a few seconds, Andy made his choice. In the end, he closed the door and took the inhaler with him. He didn't let go until all signs of life in the room had ceased. This was another fatal mistake. But now there was no turning back. He thought he had eliminated the only witness, but while checking Kit's phone, he was horrified to find that the video had been sent to someone else, Dongguan Zai, having just taken her life. Before Andy could recover from the immense psychological pressure, an unexpected call came in. It was Dongguan Boy. He requested a meeting with Andy at a cafe. Once they met, Dongguan Boy wasted no time on pleasantries, dropping a bombshell secret that could completely overturn the case.
The New Century case, it wasn't Xiao Nan's doing. It was Brother Pa. He's Cao Nan's former associate, just got out of prison.
3.
He's also the one who killed your informant and his daughter after Ma Long did Cao Nan. Only wanted to flee Hong Kong as soon as possible. Brother Pa took over his crew. He knew nothing about Tang Qian.
Dongguan Boy's words left Andy shaken if what he said was true. Then everything Andy had done was a grave mistake.
Why should I believe you?
I've been cleaning up their mess. This is the gun that killed Tang Qian. If you don't believe me, take it for ballistics testing. Brother Pa called me. Said, there's a big score coming up soon.
What's your angle?
Because of a woman. I don't want her to be a widow. I'm about to become a father.
Congratulations.
I want my kid to be proud of me. I want to be a good man. Do me a favor. Tell my girlfriend that I've been working undercover for you all along.
Andy didn't give him a straight answer, nor did he refuse. Instead, Andy was calculating a far more sinister plan. He would use the intel provided by Dongguan Boy, not only to wipe out Brother Pa's gang, but also to eliminate Dongguan Boy, the only witness to his secret. Storm clouds gather over Hong Kong as a massive typhoon approaches.
The tone is hitting. Is the operation cancelled?
Not unless they're out for the money.
Based on the intel provided by Dongguan Zai, the police have set an inescapable dragnet. Fully armed, the CSTU is ready to trap Page's crew like rats in a hole. Though Dongguan Zai is prepared to act as an undercover, Zhai merely sees him as a disposable pawn.
Or do we have an informant? Inside.
Today's mission is to wipe out Page's gang and ensure Dongguan Zai, who knows too much, disappears along with them. With Dongguan Zai's tip-off, Page's movements are completely exposed. As Page's crew hits the armored truck, little do they know a team of STU is lying in wait inside.
Let's get in the car.
Damn it, what happened to the surveillance? There are cops in the truck. It's beyond the trap. We have a mole.
There's a new guy.
I am the one who brought him.
That Tang Qian you brought last time already caused enough trouble.
Shut up from now on, anyone who tries to leave. I'll blow his brains out, you hear me?
Just as he finished, Zhai suddenly charged out, ramming their vehicle and sending it flying. Without a moment's hesitation, Zhai grabbed a submachine gun, and like a madman he opened fire indiscriminately regardless of the bystanders. Dongguan Zai was shell-shocked. Seeing Zhai's reckless shooting, he realized he was being used and fear instantly gripped him. For Dongguan Zai, the only thought now was to escape, as it was his only chance to survive. But looking around, the area was already cordoned off by the CSTU. Where could he possibly run? The STU's firepower grew more intense. Although the bandits had an advantage in equipment, it meant nothing when overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Seeing that all hope was lost, one of the robbers snapped. He dropped his weapon, raised his hands, and chose to surrender.
I surrender. Don't shoot.
By the book, he should have lived. But today, Hua sets the rules, and it wasn't handcuffs waiting for him. It was a well-aimed bullet. Hua's shot ignited a desperate struggle for survival among the remaining robbers. If surrendering means death, they might as well fight to the end. The gunfire became even more intense and frantic. Hiding in the car, Bong was paralyzed with fear after witnessing the execution. He discreetly took out his phone and sent a message to Hua. Upon receiving the text, Hua instinctively tightened his grip on his pistol. Flash of killing intent crossed his eyes, but he quickly regained his composure. Since Bong still had the incriminating video, Hua had to keep him calm for now. The two then began their final negotiation.
Please.
I saw the footage.
I am going to be a father.
Finan.
I promise you, but you can't surrender yet. They die, and you walk away. Clean understood.
While he seemingly agreed to Bong's terms, Hua actually had no intention of letting him off the hook. Meanwhile, the tide of the battle outside began to shift. The police firepower had formed a lethal, airtight perimeter. Hua and his crew were pinned down, unable to even peek out. They were forced to retreat into an abandoned bus. Bong slipped inside as well amidst the chaos. With the bandits cornered, the police halted their assault to avoid further casualties. They suspended the direct attack. Negotiators were sent in hoping to break their resolve through psychological warfare. But Ping responded with a ruthless hail of bullets.
Think maybe we should just surrender.
Doramo. Right.
Nowhere left to run. Not if I surrender. I won't have to die.
Are you that afraid of dying?
Yaha. Just then, Dongguanzai's phone rang. It was Hua calling. He called at this exact moment intending to kill with a borrowed knife, exposing Dongguanzai's undercover status in front of Brother Pa. Sure enough, hearing the ringtone, Brother Pa was convinced Dongguanzai was the mole. He leveled his gun at him, but just as he was about to pull the trigger from behind, the lackey who wanted to surrender shot him in the back.
I want to surrender.
I'm surrendering. Then he stepped out of the bus with his hands held high. But he couldn't escape the same fate as his accomplices. Waiting for him was Hua's fatal shot from the shadows. Hua then aimed his rifle at the fleeing Dongguanzai. Even the ground collapsing from the explosions couldn't stop his desperate flight for survival. Back at the hospital, his girlfriend watched the live broadcast, a heart in her throat as she watched it all unfold. The sniper scope's crosshairs were locked onto Dongguanzai. But this time, he hesitated. He remembered the madness and chaos he had descended into. He knew that by pulling that trigger, he would become the very demon he once loathed the most. In this final struggle between justice and personal vengeance, his humanity finally prevailed. He lowered his gun. Yet fate had other plans. Just as Dongguanzai was about to escape with his life, an out-of-control truck barreled toward him and struck him hard. It all began when he tried to run down Hua with his car. Now it all ended in a gruesome crash. A cycle of karma that no one could escape. Hands up.
It was an accident, don't move it. It was an accident.
After the storm, the sky cleared once more. Hua fulfilled his promise to Dongguanzai, sending a letter to Law Yinbing in the name of the police force.
Dear Miss Law Yinbing, due to the nature of classified operations, Mr. Tu Xingpeng's identity as an officer was not previously disclosed. We apologize for this. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, I offer our highest salute to Mr. Tu who fell in the line of duty, and express our gratitude for his years of loyalty and selflessness. As subsequent operations are still underway, please continue to keep Mr. Tu's undercover identity confidential.
This official document brought Dongguanzai's brief and chaotic life to a close as a hero. Upon receiving the letter, Yinbing finally shed tears of relief. Meanwhile, while the man behind this beautiful lie chose to face his true self at last, he stripped off his uniform and confessed to every crime he committed during this storm.